Hey, this is Dr. Cory Glenn with Blue Sky Bio, and I'm going to do in this video an unboxing and demonstration of the MobileX portable X-ray system that we sell at Blue Sky Bio. This is a handheld X-ray unit that you can use in your office just like you would any normal type of X-ray. You can obviously use it in multiple ops. You wouldn't necessarily have to buy a arm-mounted X-ray unit for every single room, so it can be more economical, and plus just from an ease of use standpoint, it's easier to take X-rays with this. You don't have to run out of the room and push the button, hope the patient didn't move, any of that stuff. You can just stand right beside the patient, fire the X-ray, so it's quicker and it's a more efficient way to take the X-ray. So when you open the box, I'll go through the parts that you're going to find. You're going to have the handle, which I'll install here in just a moment. You're going to have the charging cord. You will have the thumb knob for attaching the handle. And then there's going to be both a hand strap and a neck strap. And so if you prefer, you can use that neck strap and have that as a safety measure around the unit so that you can let go with your hands and let it hang. Let's say if you were trying to readjust the positioning of your aiming instrument. And then finally, there's a hand strap. I'm going to set those aside for the moment and then just go through how to install the pistol grip handle. So when you take this out of the box, you're going to see that there is a hole on the bottom of the mobile X-ray unit, and there's a hole also in your pistol grip handle right here. So you want to hold this with the pistol trigger pointing forward, and then just line up the holes, and now just use the thumb screw to secure this down. Okay, so that should be good and tight. And then furthermore, right now it's only serving as a handle, but if you actually want to be able to trigger your X-ray using the button here, then you're going to need to run the wire that's attached to the back and place it right here. Okay, so now the handle is ready and you'll be able to fire the X-ray with that. For charging, you're just going to simply take the 120 volt charger and it will go in the very back underneath the plastic flap. So this unit can charge. If you're not using it, I would recommend leaving it on the charger. Don't leave it on there for just extremely long times unattended and not being used, but that's how you're going to make sure that you keep the unit charged. Now, as far as function, it's a very simple unit to use. For basic function, to turn the unit on, you're just going to press and hold the top power button. And as you see, it turns on. Now you're going to see these lines going up and down like this. That is not what it really looks like if you're using this unit. That's some kind of funny nuance with video recording this screen. So don't think that it's always going to do that. But really simple unit to use. As you see here, I'm in mode 1. And within mode 1, that's the adult mode, which also is indicated by the little adult person right here. Within that, you can use the up and down buttons and go through the various settings. And so you've got a molar setting, an anterior setting, and a premolar setting. So that just adjusts the amount of exposure that the patient is going to get to account for the thicker bone in those anatomic areas. Now, if we want to change modes, if you hold down the up and down arrow simultaneously, now you see it changes to mode 2. And this is the child setting, so the little person here is a bit smaller. Once you're in the child setting, it's the same thing. You're going to go through and use the up and down arrow to choose which area of the mouth you're going to be shooting in. And then finally, if we push both up and down arrows again, we'll go to the final mode, which is more of a manual mode. And this one just lets you adjust the exposure time manually. And so if you were doing the presets and not getting the exposure you want, you do always have the ability to go in and manually change this. However, with that said, I'm generally going to always use the adult setting or the child setting, and that should be sufficient. Once you're ready to trigger this, you can simply hold the unit, aim it at whatever you're going to be shooting at, and I'll turn it sideways so you can see here. And when you're ready to fire the unit, you just press and hold. And you see that you'll get these audible beeps, and that tells you that it's preparing to fire. And then once it finally fires, it's going to give you a solid long beep, and you'll also see that little red indicator light go off. I'll do it from this angle where you can see. Okay, so that's how you trigger an X-ray. There's no worries as far as safety is concerned because this glass shield, anything that's behind this glass shield is going to not be able to be exposed. So all the exposure is happening out here. There's no safety concern that you or your assistants need to worry about when using this unit. So that's pretty much it for the basic functionality, but you do have the ability to go into the back-end settings on this unit. So when the unit is off, if you want to go in and alter those settings, if I press all three buttons simultaneously, press and hold them, and after a few seconds this will come on, and now you can see it's a different screen and we're in the back-end settings. And so you could just use the up and down arrows to scroll through these. Let's go arrow down so you see information about the battery, information about your last shot is number 2. One of the settings you might want to alter is the sound of the beeps when it's preparing to fire. And so as you heard when I initially did this with the default settings, there's multiple continuous beeps and then it finally fires. Some people prefer to have that just be one solid beep. So if you wanted to go into this setting, you can now hit the trigger button either here or on the hand grip. So if I hit that and select it, you can see that right now it is set to 5. Let's bring that all the way down to 0. And that's going to eliminate those continuous beeps so that you're just going to get one final beep when it fires. Okay, so to select that, once again, hit the trigger button either here or on the handle. And now we've selected that. Now just to go through a couple of other things, you've got additional buzzer settings, you've got information on when it boots. So continuing down, we have more information on the X-ray buzzer. You've got the ability to change the presets. And so you shouldn't generally have to alter these, but let's say that with your particular sensor in your office that the initial settings are giving you either under or overexposed X-rays, well, you can come in and change those presets. And so this is just a matter of entering in once again with the trigger button, and then you can change what that default exposure time is. Again, I'm not going to alter those, but I did just want to show you that that is possible. So you can go through in the adult or the child settings and you can alter all of those settings. So really the only thing that I've changed here is the X-ray buzzer. And with that done, I'm going to turn the unit off by just pushing the power button. Now let's turn it back on in the normal preset. And now you can see if I was going to take a molar X-ray on an adult, I'm ready to go here. I'm going to press the trigger now and you'll hear the difference in the beeps. Alright, so you see this time it's just one quick beep when you first pull the trigger. You do need to press and hold that trigger. You can't just press it and then let go. If I do that, you see that nothing happens. It gives you a little warning that it did not take an X-ray. So you want to press and hold. It's going to give you one beep. And then it'll give you just the one solid beep that tells you that it has fired. And that is pretty much it for the basic use of the MobileX X-ray unit.